What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to do a Talk About It Tuesday, and here we are going to discuss the upcoming season of Beavis and Butthead that premieres tomorrow, July 10th on Comedy Central. Now, before we even dive into what I expect on the new season, I think it's important to highlight what has happened in the past two seasons, as well as Beavis and Butthead Do America, or Do the Universe. We'll talk a little bit about Beavis and Butthead Do America, but the focus is really on the past two seasons and the latest movie. Now, growing up watching Beavis and Butthead, it was a very comedic show. It was something that even as a kid, I owned all the episodes. Once I moved and lost it, I repurchased all of them, so I have all the seasons on DVD. You can also watch it on Pluto TV for free. Now, when I'm looking at where Beavis and Butthead left off, you're really looking at no decisive ending, which is expected for a animated comedy show. Now, we did get the Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe movie first. In this movie, Beavis and Butthead continue their antics. They ultimately catch the school on fire at a science fair, and this leads to them being sent off to space camp. The judge watched Touched by an Angel, I believe. He believed that he needed to be lighter in the sentence, and ultimately it put them in an opportunity to redeem themselves. Beavis and Butthead doing what Beavis and Butthead do. They obviously are going to continue messing around. They're looking to score. And so ultimately you see they will disappear in space. And so where the new movie really picked up was Beavis and Butthead in the 20 plus years that have passed since the last season. You see them go through a time portal and re-enter. And so by this time, the captain of the spacecraft is now governor, and she believes they are coming back to either have her killed or arrested or frame her. And so she's running a re-election campaign, and so you really see that in that scene. Now we look at really where the season comes into play. So now we're looking at the first two seasons, and overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, for me, it's about a 9 out of 10. I thought there were a lot of great episodes. However, I felt there were a couple specific situations that were not very good. I believe if you look at season one, I think it was episode either 1 or 2 in the second half, there's an episode where it's a focus on fire. And so really it's slow. You see Beavis going around looking for fire. You see him talking to a dumpster. And so really, to me, it was slow. It was not a good episode. But then you look at the escape room. You look at the boating rafting episode. Those were good episodes. I think one of my overall favorite episodes of the season was when they decide to open the Museum of Chicken Bones. So they see that people pay money to go to museums, and so they decide to do what Beavis and Butthead do and create a museum based off of chicken bones. And ironically, in this episode, you see people paying to go get see the chicken bones. And then they continue to do what they do, and it ultimately will crumble. Now, the one thing I will say with the new season is I'm really glad that they are keeping the same format. So you will see the videos. So whether now it's on YouTube where they're looking at different YouTube channels, they're looking at different streamers. They're doing that to add as an addition to the show. Another thing I think is done really well still is the music video. So here you're able to get more of the newer thoughts and the newer music. So Olivia Rodrigo, Megan Thee Stallion, they've all been included. And so I think this helps keep Beavis and Butthead current. Now, looking at the new season, I think it could go a couple different ways. So what I'm really hoping for is a continuation. This continuing of seeing characters that maybe did not appear in the first part of the 2 seasons. So if Mr. Van Driesen comes back more, that would be great. Excuse me. Now, when you're looking at Mr. Van Driesen and the impact he had in the earlier seasons in the 90s, it was big because he was the teacher. And so obviously now he's not in that teacher role. However, I think it's still a big part of the show. The one thing also that I believe that the new seasons are doing well of is putting Beavis and Butthead as adults. So when you look at Mr. Anderson and Mr. Van Driesen and looking at what they were telling Beavis and Butthead all those years ago, you're seeing it finally come into play. So you're seeing the way they're acting, the way they're living. So obviously they're living in poverty. They're doing the same antics. And so it puts it in perspective of where Beavis and Butthead end up. The one issue that I have, and I'm not a fan of, is when they go into the alien form. So when you see a futuristic, alienistic Beavis and Butthead, to me, I am not a fan of those. So even watching Beavis and Butthead do the universe, it's also like watching something where in those scenes I'm not particularly interested. So I find myself kind of tuning out at that point. But overall, I really hope the new season continues like the last 2. I hope that we as viewers get an opportunity to see where Beavis and Butthead end up down the line. So I'm hoping that new episodes will continue after this year. So it's really good to see that there is a new season. And like I said, this is a show that I grew up on. This is a show that I enjoy, and I know a lot of people my age enjoy it as well. So comment below what your thoughts on the new season are, what you think the direction will go, and whether or not you think Beavis and Butthead will continue to be as entertaining as it's been. Or do some of you feel that there is a drop in the scene or the show from earlier times to now? So remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and have a good rest of your day.